what's doing, guys? Back with a fresh final review. And today we're looking at an old figure that I got like 5 years ago. Actually, it's like 5 years, 3 months ago. Because we're looking at the X Plus 25 centimeter Toho Largemouth Series Rodan 1956. Bam! Or as they say in Japan, Rodan! Okay? So, I picked this figure up. This was actually one of the first X Plus figures that I bought. And I haven't even reviewed it. This is the first time I'm reviewing this figure. I don't even know if I reviewed everything that was in my first splurge of X Plus. And this was one of the first ones because I think I bought like 13 of them at like in one sitting. Yeah, crazy, okay? But I actually picked this one up from a guy that lived maybe like 15 minutes from me. His name is Brian. He's now since moved to Australia, doing some awesome stuff out there. He's like a doctor or something crazy. Anyway, I bought the figure off eBay, and only to find out that he was like 15 minutes from me from where I lived. And I went and picked it up in person. And I saw some other X Plus figures that I'm like, ooh, I want these too. And I did. But this was one of the first ones I got my hands on, along with the 25 centimeter Mechagodzilla 74 and the Wonderfest exclusive set with Godzilla 73 and Jet Jaguar. So those were my first 4 X Plus figures that my hands touched, okay? And this is one of them right here. 1956 Rodan. Bam! All right, so let's get some back history here. This figure came, now mind you, I'm going to say I bought it in January 2013, okay? So the figure itself was released in Japan late October 2012. So I only picked it up a couple months after its initial release. The figure standard version comes with just Rodan, okay? The Rick came with a small Mega Nulon, I believe. I'm pretty sure that was yeah, that's what the Rick was for this figure, and I don't have the Rick, unfortunately. The Mega Nulon is actually a really cool piece to have. Really, really cool piece. So I have the standard. The standard, when it was released, was about $100 off Hobby Search if you want to just compare prices. I'd imagine the Rick was probably around 120, 130, you know, give or take, because that's usually what the Rick figures will go for, price-wise, okay? So October 2012, $100. I don't remember what I paid for this. Again, it was over 5 years ago, but I've had the figure that long. Now, 5 years ago, right? Figure it's 5.5 years old, give or take, technically speaking, from its initial release. What's great about X Plus and Diamond? They're reissuing this figure. No, actually, I'm sorry. I take it back. X Plus is just reissuing this figure at the end of June 2018. Okay, so long time coming. A lot of collectors. I know my buddy John Bumpus has wanted this figure for a long time, and I know he got his hands on one last year. But now X Plus reissued it. Mind you, it's a Rick-only reissue, which means you can only get it from the Rick site. It's not offered on Hobby Search, AmiHobby, Hobby Link Japan, or anything else. So the only way to get it was through the Rick site with a forwarding service like Tenso Buy or Shopping Mall Japan, or if you know somebody that can help you acquire one through their own personal forwarding service like Mike Johnson, Jim Serenella, or I don't know, whoever else is out there. Okay, so let's look at the figure. Then I'm done rambling about, you know, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, it's really cool it's getting reissued, so everybody's going to be able to get their hands on one, right? Right! Okay? I'm not even sure how much the reissue is going to cost. I think it's probably $120, $130. Can't go wrong. Anyway, the figure itself, let me look at him, because it's been a long time since I really looked at this figure. One thing I love about this version of Rodan is he's a badass, okay? He looks like a badass. He don't look like a chicken. He don't look like Phil, because that is what the later versions of Rodan looked like from 1964 on in the Showa series, okay? But this version, he is very sinister looking. He's got these deep set black eye sockets sitting in his skull that gives it that like almost like a Batman look, okay? He's very just pissed off looking, narrow eyebrows. His head, it's very, I mean, look at the beak, honestly. It's just mean looking. He's very mean looking. He's got the 2 horns on the head. Those look really nice. It is just a disturbing looking figure. Honestly, the most ferocious and scariest version of Rodan that ever existed, because this first and the best, if you ask me. Too bad we didn't get him looking like this throughout the rest of the show series, because I thought this would have been great, especially seeing him up with Godzilla 64 and Ghidorah Mothra. It would look really cool. But that's just personal preference, okay? I want to say something else about Rodan. That movie scared the crap out of me as a kid, because when I watched that probably when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and it was actually, I think, the first monster movie I ever watched, Rodan. And I'll never forget when the miners are going, Akira Takarada's going into the mines, it's flooded, and the Mega Nulons start coming at you. Oh, that creepy ass noise that they make. Yeah, I didn't like that. That scared me because, again, dark tunnel, flooded, monster. People were getting mutilated and whatnot. It was pretty scary. I was like, wow, that's messed up. That's not cool, bro. Not cool. Anyway, so little fun fact for Rodan about me. All right, but the figure itself, it's beautiful, painted in dark browns with nice highlights on the stomach, on his chest and belly plate there, so that looks really good. Details crisp. The wings are nice and deep browns. Again, there is some dry brushing here to give the figure some depth, so that looks good. The beak and his horns are kind of like an off bone white, more yellowish. He's got these nice little beady 3-finger hands on his wings. Okay, wings are kind of sturdy. We're gonna talk about the wings now for a moment. Wait, let's finish the figure. What do we got back here? The back. Notice about the back. It's not like the Showa Rodan who had that blue U down it. Okay. Anyway, but the wings. Let's talk about the wings. These wings. He's actually not standing the way he should. This wing should be, I think, a little bit like that. He might be standing right, but I don't know. I had a problem with him standing for some time where he would fall over, okay? Not fresh. Not fresh. But this one, he's actually standing good, which is, I'm surprised. I don't remember if I've ever fixed him with a hairdryer, because what you can do, if you get the figure and you have a problem with him standing, take your hairdryer and bend the tips of the wings. Bend them back, bend them down, so it uses it to support itself. What X Plus really should have done is they should have came with like a rock base or something that you could lock the foot into that supports the figure. That would look cool. Kind of like that Gauss figure that came out whenever it came out. I don't remember. But overall, the figure, it's beautiful. It stands up, again, like this one. It's standing up okay now. I've had it tumble a couple times, but it's working good now. Really have no complaints about the figure. Let's do a little comparison with the 25 centimeter 1964 Rodan. Okay? Good. Hello? Pay attention. Talking over here. All right, so here we have 1964 Rodan. I have to hold him because this one does have a leaning problem. Look at that. That's how he's supporting himself. That is bad. Very bad. But this one, there's a lot more colors on the 64 version. He looks like a goofball. Does look kind of like Phil. Maybe a little bit more short Phil. But he's got bigger spikes on his stomach and everything. Whole different Rodan. Obviously, it was a different Rodan because this one died at the end of the film. And mind you, there was 2 Rodan in the first film, 1956. But overall, it is Rodan, both figures, both versions, both monsters, whichever. You guys know this. But drastically different here in the 1964 version compared to the sinister 1956 version. Bam! And the 64 has a horrible, horrible time. Oh, he's going to fall. See, what happens is that once he falls, he's going to face plant onto your shelf or onto the table or wherever you have him, and you're going to end up risking damaging. Well, not that you're going to risk it. It's not like you did it on purpose, but the risk here is the beak getting scuffed, and that's not fresh, okay? Not good. Not good. But overall, this is a nice figure. Just wish the damn thing would stand. Whatever. Anyway, I dig the figure. Really, something I should have done a long time ago. Why I haven't reviewed it up until now. Oh, look at that. Even the legs down here, they articulate a little bit. Maybe you could use that to your advantage when it comes to posing. But I'm not having a problem. There are no points of articulation. You get them right out of the box. You don't have to worry about putting on any tails, squishy soft action. So anybody that's picking up the Rick exclusive that's coming out soon, you guys are in for a treat. I am not sure if the paint job is going to be any different from what this one here is. I'm sure there will be some subtle differences because, again, 5.5 years ago, something that's coming out new. If they get the paint like identical, good job, X Plus. But great figure. Awesome version of Rodan to have. If I had to pick one Rodan to pick out of the X Plus that we have, we have 225s and a 30 that's up here behind me somewhere. There he is. I'd go with the 56 because it's just a badass looking, okay? And that's what's up. All right, so I think that concludes my review. Pretty much covered everything, rambled so much, a little bit here, but figure I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Really, I mean, if it always stays like this, it easily a 10 out of 10, but I've had some issues with it. Again, I think X Plus could have put a stand with it and would have been good to go, okay? Okay, all right, so certified fresh, bam, it's awesome, 9 out of 10, sorry, and good luck to all you guys that are picking this up, that it's coming out the end of June 2018, and I will see you on my next Fresh Vinyl review, and you're welcome, Godzilla Boy, and remember, buy vinyl, fresh vinyl!